And joining us live to discuss the college campus protests is Alex ניומן, an award-winning international journalist and the president of Liberty Sentinel Media. Alex, welcome. Good to see you. Students seem to be digging their heels in on college campuses, despite some now being suspended for their actions. What do they stand to gain or lose here?
Well, one of the things that we've learned in recent days is that a lot of them stand to gain a lot of money. You find the Open Societies Foundation, this is George Soros' tax-exempt organization, funding a lot of these anti-Israel protesters, including this group, Students for Justice in Palestine. They've got organizations where they're giving thousands of dollars to these students to be so-called fellows on campus. So it actually reminds me a lot of back in the Soviet days when the Soviet Union was sending intelligence operatives into the Middle East to rile up Arabs and Muslims against their Jewish neighbors. I think something very, very sinister is going on here. Of course, in America, we all value free speech, but what's happening here is way beyond free speech. These are threats. This is violence. And I believe it's being instigated deliberately for the purpose of undermining American society and undermining American cohesion. But it is hard to take Mike Johnson seriously in his complaints about this, as he's providing billions of dollars to Joe Biden's migration efforts to import more migrants from the Middle East, while at the same time pretending to stand with Jews in America who, for good reason, I think, are concerned about their safety.
Yeah, there are so many elements at play here. In terms of potential influence, according to the Free Beacon, a group of lawmakers is asking the IRS to investigate Chinese money allegedly funding these protests through certain organizations. What do you see about that aspect of things?
Yeah, we've seen this for many, many years now, the communist Chinese dictatorship using its money to fund really anything that will divide American society. We saw this with the Black Lives Matter movement. We saw involvement from organizations that were receiving funding from the CCP. And I don't think it's necessarily that the communist Chinese care about this particular issue. I think it's more about dividing American society, fracturing American society, causing civil unrest, causing hatred in this country. And I think ultimately trying to raise those tensions to the point where it becomes dangerous. There's obviously a concerted effort to do this. We know that this is part of the communist Chinese unrestricted warfare plan. And so I do think that's worth investigating properly. And I think really it's time for the federal government to crack down on this. We cannot have the communist Chinese embassies and consulates with diplomatic immunity running around and trying to stir up tensions in this country. It's been happening for decades. The Cubans used to be involved with Bill Ayers and the Weather Underground, the group that bombed the Capitol, bombed the Pentagon, bombed the State Department. It's way past time for the federal government to crack down on these foreign operators on U.S. soil, doing everything they can to cause chaos.